I heard these kids talking. One of them said something along the lines of, "This is Deku at 1%, what's your anime hero?" To that, I say, why should strength matter? Heroes with heart are what's compelling. If anything, it's better when the heroes are weaker physically. They win not because of the strength of their punches, but the strength of their spirit. It is still possible to do overpowered heroes good. And one example I'd like to highlight is Norrin Rad, aka the Silver Surfer. You might be thinking, Silver Surfer, that lame shiny dude that no one cares about? To that I say, Silver Surfer is actually one of the best written heroes in Marvel's mythos. And in this video, I'm going to focus on the Silver Surfer animated series that aired on Fox Kids in the 90s. At surface level, it looks like your average run-of-the-mill children's superhero cartoon set in space. But that, I assure you, it is not. And if you don't want spoilers, I suggest you turn back now. And there are only 12 episodes, and they're pretty easy to find online, so please go watch it, it is really good. But now, we begin. The first 3 episodes are shockingly titled, "The Origin of the Silver Surfer." Basically, there's this big purple guy called Galactus, and he eats planets, but only because he has to. At the beginning of the episode, it is stated that Galactus is neither good nor bad. It's not his fault he eats planets to survive. Anyway, one planet he decides to chow down on is a world called Zenla. Zenla is a planet where creatures from all over the universe live in peace and harmony. It's a beacon of hope to the whole galaxy, and Galactus wants to... One of the planet's inhabitants, Norrin Rad, tries to convince him to spare his world. And he does, only if Norrin agrees to become his herald. Norrin thought, oh, I could lead Galactus to planets without any life and save a bunch of species. So Norrin agrees and says goodbye to his lover Shalabal, and he's transformed into the Silver Surfer. However, Galactus decided to be a meanie and erase all of Norrin's memories. That way he can never defy him. And so the two left behind Zenla and Shalabal. A few years passed, and the Surfer has caused the destruction of many planets. Until this bad guy, I forgot what his name was, I think it began with T. It was really weird, I don't remember. But I'll just call him Big Mac Daddy. Big Mac Daddy wants to know Galactus' secrets. He uses a living planet called Ego to lure the Surfer into a trap. Big Mac Daddy beams himself into Silver Surfer's mind, and while in there he accidentally breaks some sort of seal, causing the Surfer to remember his past. In response to this, he storms back to Galactus, demanding he give back the rest of his memories. Galactus doesn't really want to hear it, because he just found a new planet to eat, and it's got lots of life, and oh no, it's Earth. So the Surfer tries to warn Earth about Galactus, but once the military sees him, they, of course, immediately try to blow him up, because, they're the military. Wait, hold on. Didn't the Watcher also warn Zenla about Galactus, and they still ended up dying? So why would he try to... Wait, what? I don't know, whatever. During all the chaos, this girl named Frankie gets injured, and the Surfer uses his powers to heal her. That's gonna be important later on. Then the Silver Surfer tries to fight Galactus, but he is no match for his power cosmic. Galactus tells Silver Surfer that he can't win and that he should just give up. He keeps trying. He argues that it's better to die fighting for you believe it than to live under something you don't. This idea is enough to convince Galactus to spare Earth. He even says that he will never have that kind of courage. I like this moment. It shows how Galactus isn't all bad. Like, again, he's not good or bad, he just eats planets because he has to. Lets the Surfer keep his powers, not as a blessing, but as a curse. During their battle earlier, Frankie was teleported to Galactus' ship. Whenever Silver Surfer used his powers on her, it later reactivated and sent her to the ship. Doesn't that make sense? It does to me. So Galactus decided to make her his new herald, Nova. And Nova, much like Silver Surfer, wants to lead Galactus to planets without any life. Once the Surfer returned to Zenla, he found that it was gone. Galactus said that he could leave, but he couldn't go back to Zenla, so he basically just flicked the planet outside the universe so so far that he didn't even know where it was anymore. Not even the Watcher knew where it was. He knows where everything is. So the rest of the series follows Silver Surfer trying to find his way back to Zenla and reunite with Shalaval. But most creatures don't want to help him because he, caused the deaths of millions of species. It's a very unique storyline. Very interesting, unique storyline, especially for a kid's show. It's part of what makes Silver Surfer so good. The series also features a lot of characters that were obscure then, but are pretty popular and well known these days. One of my favorite episodes is Internecion. Why did I say it so weird? Inner Visions. There, I said it. Lauren remembers there's this crystal thing on a planet that might be able to help him find Zenlong. Only problem is that planet is about to get blown up by Big Mac Daddy. Once the Surfer lands on the planet, he sees that all the buildings are all destroyed, but the people are still there. And stranger is that they were under some sort of trance. He found out they were in a dream created by the crystal. The only way to warn them about Big Mac Daddy was to enter their dream. Once he did, he saw it was a giant coliseum, and all the citizens were strong warriors. And they fought illusions of rock monsters for entertainment, almost like a lucid dream where they can control what happens. The dream gave them what they wanted, a paradise. But if they didn't leave, they would die. And once they left the dream, they could not go back in. They had to make a choice, die in a fake world, or live in the real one. One of the aliens, Rita Ray Bill, tries to convince Silver Surfer not to break the dream. He says that here we are stronger than we ever were. The Surfer replied, strong enough to only vanquish phantoms. Bill realized there's no point in living life if that life was fake, so he agreed to help Silver Surfer. They are able to use the crystal to put Big Mac Daddy in a dream of his own. While distracted, he forgets about blowing up the planet and leaves. However, the crystal was destroyed, and now the Surfer can't use it anymore. You'd think that all the aliens would be thankful that their lives were saved, but instead they were angry. They were taken from the dream, and they never forgave him. They never learned to accept reality. Actually, in a later episode, we see them rebuilding, meaning I guess they did learn to accept, but then Big Mac Daddy shoots them with a time laser, and then they all turn into worms and crawl back into the ocean and die. So, yeah. There's another episode where a bunch of aliens try to punish Silver Surfer for his crimes. Even though he was under mind control, they still blame him. And their constant need for revenge almost got them killed in the end. Surfer even ended up saving them, even though they tried to kill him. Another episode tells the story of Adam Warlock. Basically, there was a planet that needed a hero, so the people of that world created their own genetically engineered superhero, sort of like Superman or Goku. But eventually, they became worried that he would turn on them, so they trapped him in a pocket dimension time loop, reliving the same battle over and over again, eternally convinced he was saving his people. But without Adam Warlock, they became worried that they would need him again. So they created an army of Magus. The Magus ended up being too hard to control, and they destroyed the entire planet. Eventually, Silver Surfer helped Adam Warlock escape, and the two worked to find out what happened to the planet. And, Adam found out that the world he wanted to protect died. So he was pretty messed up, so he chose to go back to the time loop thing, and just go live there for all eternity. The series also focuses a lot on the Kree-Skrull War. In the comics, the Kree-Skrull War was a very ethically gray situation. Neither side was good or bad, but the heroes kept getting caught between it. That's what made it so interesting. Too bad they couldn't do that right in the movies. But Silver Surfer did it perfectly. In the episode Second Foundation, it is revealed that all the Skrull Queen eggs have been destroyed except for one. The Kree manages to capture Nova, who at this point has become friends with the Surfer. They will only let her go if they are given the egg. The Silver Surfer has to choose the life of his friend or the entire Skrull race. I'm not going to tell you what he does, go watch it yourself. There is one scene that I think perfectly summarizes the spirit of Silver Surfer. These orange alien things are hanging out by a cliff, and suddenly a baby one falls off. Of course, the surfer tries to save the creature, but after he does, he notices the rest can fly. The baby was supposed to fall so it could learn, and he stopped it. By accident, he interfered with its growth. That's like if a baby was about to take its first steps and then you kicked it over. You see, Silver Surfer has power, but power isn't everything. The only thing worse than a bad ending is no ending at all. After 1 season and 12 episodes, Silver Surfer was cancelled. Part of the reason why is because Silver Surfer just simply isn't a very recognizable character. Studios keep using the same old characters when there are plenty who are just as good, maybe even better. So next time an obscure, lesser-known character is put in the spotlight, respect it. Because you might not see them again. This has been Brad Worst, signing off.